Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice of the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next hour, rescue operations in the Silkyara collapsed tunnel in India's Uttarakhand succeed. All 41 trapped workers brought out safely, one by one. Palestinian and Israelis welcome extension of truce. More hostages and prisoners exchanged. Qatar says it's focused on extending it further beyond Wednesday. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak cancels his Athens meet with his Greek counterpart over the return of the Parthenon marbles row. And curtains come down on the 54th International Film Festival of India. Hollywood legend Michael Douglas is honoured with the Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award.
इंडिया
मैं आपसे
बहुत
प्यार करता हूँ. That's amazing.
Let's get you the top story of the day, which has been a source of great joy and happiness all over the country and many parts of the world as well. And this is from India's northern hilly state of Uttarakhand, where rescue efforts, which had been going on for the last 17 days since Diwali, have finally borne fruit, and there's been light at the end of the tunnel there. 41 workers were trapped. They've all been brought out. They started to emerge one by one from the Silkyara tunnel. One by one, a little before 8 p.m. IST, that is 2:30 p.m. GMT, and all 41 had been brought out safely a little after 8:30 p.m. IST or 4 p.m. GMT. A breakthrough was made earlier in the day, in the afternoon, when the last few meters of obstruction was breached. The 800mm wide pipe, which was being laid for the last several days to enable the workers to come out, reached them after some manual digging carried out by 12 rat miners, specially flown in from the last mile efforts. After putting all measures from medical to logistics in place, the workers were brought out. And as you can see, there was clapping all around. There were slogans of Jai Bharat Mata Ki or Bharat Mata Ki Jai, and a lot of felicitation as well. Laddus were distributed, sweets, and it was a scene of great joy and relief and elation there, as you can make out. That's Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, along with the Indian government's Union Minister of State, General V.K. Singh, who were there on the spot to receive these workers as they came out. Now, reacting to the successful rescue of the 41 workers, India's President Draupadi Murmu has posted on X, and I quote, "I feel relieved and happy to learn that all the workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand have been rescued. Their travails over 17 days as the rescue effort met with obstacles have been a testament of human endurance. The nation salutes their resilience and remains grateful to them for building critical infrastructure, even at great personal risk, far away from their homes. I congratulate the teams and all experts who've acted with incredible grit and determination to perform one of the most difficult rescue missions in history." Unquote. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also hailed the contribution of those who've been busy in getting these workers out. If we could bring that up on the screen. Yes, there it is. He's praised everyone involved, including the workers himself. He has praised them for their grit. He said he's extremely emotional as to how this rescue operation has been taken to a success, and he says that the courage and the patience of these workers who were trapped there for 17 days is extremely inspiring, and he wishes for their safety, their health as well, and he's expressed a lot of satisfaction how after a long wait these people will be able to meet their near and dear ones. And he also congratulated the relatives and the friends of these people who were trapped inside, that they were really patient and brave themselves, and He says that words fail him in terms of how he appreciates. He says that no matter how much you praise their patience and their forbearance about this entire ordeal, that'll fall short. He said that he also hails and salutes all those who were involved in this entire rescue operation. He salutes their grit, their determination, their jazba, as he's put it, their sentiment. And he's also said that he's completely in awe of their bravery, their determination, how they have given a new life to these workers. And he is saying that whoever was involved, all those people who were involved in this mission and how they worked, it's going to be an amazing example for the entire world to see in the coming years. And India's Home Minister Amit Shah has also reacted to the successful tunnel rescue of these 41 workers. He's also posted an X, and I quote, "It is great news for the nation that all our 41 Shramiks, as in workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand, have been rescued safe and sound. The nation salutes their grit in facing such a challenging situation in the tunnel for so long. My heartfelt gratitude to all the people and the agencies that have made tireless efforts to save the lives of our fellow citizens." End quote. And India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also put out his sentiments about this rescue on X, or Twitter as it was earlier known. While reacting to the news, India's the Defence Minister, said that he is also extremely pleased that all these people have been able to come out of this dire situation that they were caught up in for 17 days. And he's also hailed all, not just the workers, but all those people who were involved and the relatives of the workers as well. He's mentioned the contribution of all those people involved, especially the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, along with the Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, as well as Home Minister Amit Shah. Now, while reacting to the news, India's Minister for Road Transport and Highways also posted on X, and I quote, "I am completely relieved and happy as 41 trapped labourers in the Silkyara tunnel collapse have been successfully rescued. This was a well-coordinated effort by multiple agencies, marking one of the most significant rescue operations in recent years. Various departments and agencies complemented each other despite facing numerous challenges. Tireless and sincere efforts by everyone, coupled with prayers from all, have made this operation possible. The dedicated endeavours of the rescue teams have yielded favourable results. I express gratitude to each agency and individual involved in this rescue operation. Deep appreciation for the international rescue experts, administrative officers and the Uttarakhand government for their swift and effective response. I take this opportunity to thank Honourable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who's been constantly monitoring the entire operation and providing guidance and support whenever required. Chief Minister of Uttarakhand Shri Pushkar Singh Dhami ji and my colleague Shri General V.K. Singh ji almost camped there during the operation. Last but not the least, I thank the officers and engineers of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for their sincere efforts." Unquote. And Nitin Gadkari, that is India's Road Transport and Highways Minister, has also spoken to the media and expressed happiness at the successful rescue mission whereby all workers have been safely evacuated.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि सिल्कियारा टनल के हादसे के कारण जो 41 मजदूर फंसे हुए थे वो बाहर निकले और उनकी जान बची है। सभी एजेंसियों ने, विशेष रूप से पीएमओ के मार्गदर्शन में, भारत सरकार की सब एजेंसीज, उत्तराखंड सरकार और वहां की स्थानिक जनता और सब लोगों ने रात दिन मेहनत की, परिश्रम किए, अलग अलग पर्यायों पर काम किया और उसके बाद ये सफलता मिली है। ये बहुत गहरा संकट था, पहली बार इस प्रकार का अनुभव आया। इन लोगों की जान बची, उन लोगों को मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, शुभेच्छाएं देता हूं। और इसमें जान बचाने में जिन जिन भारत सरकार की एजेंसियों ने और राज्य सरकार की एजेंसियों ने और सभी हमारे इंजीनियर्स थे, रात दिन अपने जोखिम लेकर जो काम किया है, उन सबको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, उनके आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। ये घटना ने भी हमको सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ मिला है। अब हम लोग इसके बारे में टनल का सेफ्टी ऑडिट भी करने वाले हैं और टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कैसे हम लोग ज़्यादा से अच्छे टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग कर सके, ये भी कोशिश करेंगे।
So he mentioned that apart from the fact that he's expressed relief at the rescue of these workers, and he's also praised all those people involved, he said that an audit will also be carried out where this tunnel is concerned. Now, India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has also reacted to the successful evacuation of 41 trapped workers in the tunnel. He's posted on X, and I quote again, "After over 2 weeks of untiring efforts, our engineers, technicians and staff of the rescue team have safely rescued all 41 people trapped inside an under-construction Silkyara Barkot tunnel at Uttarakhand. Concerned with the safety and security of people trapped inside, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was personally monitoring this rescue operation, which was one of the trickiest and difficult ones. But our rescuers overcame all stupendous challenges and ensured a ray of light at the end of the tunnel." Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami left no stone unturned and remained on standby throughout the operation. The ordeal is over now. It's time for the reunion. And still to come on DD India News are, Qatar hosts Israel and US spy chiefs to build on the progress of the extended truce holding between Israel and Hamas. NATO foreign ministers meeting in Brussels pledged to keep extending support to Ukraine in its counter-offensive against Russia.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome to a happy place. To nature's warm embrace. Witness the power of faith, fruits of hard work, and protectors of Mother Earth. Unique in every way. Discover something new every day. A small state with big ambitions. And a bigger heart. Mizoram welcomes to love, laughter and celebrations.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, the 48-hour extended truce between Israel and Hamas ends on Wednesday. Qatar has said it's focused on extending it further beyond Wednesday based on Hamas's ability to continue releasing 10 hostages per day. Meanwhile, CIA Director William Burns has also reached Qatar for talks on the conflict.
While discussing a common commitment to resolve different issues, the conference of NATO's foreign ministers in Brussels also revolved around the dispute between Israel and Hamas. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Norwegian Foreign Minister Eid in Brussels, says it plays an important role to solve the crisis.
We have crisis in the Middle East, where Norway historically and currently plays a very, very important role. The Arctic Council, where Norway is in the chair, and a variety of other issues as we track together toward the summit next year.
As the temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas entered the fifth day after a 48-hour extension was agreed upon, the release of more hostages is expected. Israel has said it would extend the truce by 1 day on the release of every 10 hostages, while Qatar is focused on further extending the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel beyond Wednesday, based on the group's ability to continue releasing 10 hostages per day. Meanwhile, CIA Director William Burns is in Qatar for talks on the conflict.
Regarding what we will be working on in the next 48 hours. So, of course, Andrew, our main focus right now is, and our hope, is to reach a sustainable truce. What we have right now is a provision to the agreement that allows us to extend days as long as Hamas is able to guarantee the release of at least 10 hostages from their side. And therefore, this is what we have at the moment.
Israelis and Palestinians have expressed relief over the continuation of the Israel-Hamas truce, with the majority of Israelis agreeing that the ceasefire is the best course of action for the time being, but not at the expense of Hamas's resurgence.
I'm in the middle, because I want the hostages to come home, but I don't want them to give in to Hamas. Personally, I don't like negotiation with enemies, but my heart is also for the hostages.
Meanwhile, hundreds of lorries of humanitarian aid, medical supplies and fuel have been allowed into Gaza, and it will continue for the next 2 days.
Now, 11 more hostages have been released by the Hamas, while Qatar has announced extension of the Gaza truce by 2 more days. Israel has said that for every 10 hostages released, it will extend the truce by 1 day.
It was another day of joyous reunion for the families of 11 hostages, with tears of joy rolling down their cheeks as another batch of hostages were released by the Hamas, which includes 9 women and 2 children. These 11 hostages are in stable condition, an Israeli doctor confirmed.
We can say at this point that all our children and mothers are in a stable medical condition, and we will further on continue with medical evaluation.
Israel also shared still photos of 4-year-old Abigail Edan, who was released a day earlier by Hamas in Gaza, sitting with her aunt and her uncle. Friends of children eagerly awaiting their return were happy to welcome them home.
I want the community to return to the way it was, at least part of what it was, and that we will return to being the same community that we always were, that we will always be.
Following the release, Qatar announced the extension of truce between Israel and Hamas in Gaza by 2 days. White House welcomed the decision, with NSA John Kirby announcing the success of Biden's approach.
Of course, we welcome the announcement just a little bit ago, I think in the last hour or so, by Qatar, that the humanitarian pause in Gaza, now in its 4th day, will be extended for another 2 days through Thursday morning Israel time. This humanitarian pause has already brought a halt to the fighting, together with a surge of humanitarian assistance.
Israel said it was ready to extend truce by 1 day for every 10 hostages released by Hamas. For some families, there has been moments of joy. However, many still await release of their nears and dears. One such is Hadas Calderon, mother of 2 children who were taken hostage by Hamas. She marked her youngest son's birthday in his absence.
We are celebrating my son Erez, is 12 years old today. We're celebrating his birthday. He loves the mountain bike, and his father also is very professional in riding bike. So that's what you see, and I wish he could be here to enjoy with everybody and to feel like a normal boy.
The wait for near and dear ones continue, but for how long will this wait continue remains to be seen.
Launched last week after several unsuccessful attempts, North Korea's spy satellite has delivered images of the White House, the Pentagon, as well as U.S. aircraft carriers to its leader Kim Jong-un. It faced severe condemnation for the launch at the United Nations Security Council meet on Monday for violating UNESCO resolutions banning its use of any ballistic technology.
After launching spy satellite, North Korea faced strong condemnation globally.
The DPRK's launches represent a serious risk to international civil aviation and maritime traffic. While the DPRK issued the pre-launch notification to the Japanese Coast Guard, it did not issue airspace or maritime safety notifications to the International Maritime Organizations, the International Civil Aviation Organization, or the International Telecommunications Union.
North Korea's ambassador made a rare appearance at the UN Security Council on Monday to defend his country's launch of a spy satellite. The 15-member body met over the North Korea's November 21 spy satellite launch.
One belligerent party, the United States, is threatening us with a nuclear weapon. It is legitimate right for the DPRK as another belligerent party to develop, test, manufacture, and possess weapon system equivalent to those that the United States have already possessed and or developing right now.
In another development, North Korea received photos of White House, Pentagon and US aircraft carriers in naval base of Norfolk taken by its recently launched spy satellite. The United States and South Korea have condemned the satellite launch as a violation of UN Security Council resolutions banning any use of ballistic technology. Faiz Khan's report for DD India.
And now we're taking you back to our top story, which is about the tunnel rescue in Silkyara in Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand, where all the 41 workers have been brought out safely. They have been shifted to, in fact, a makeshift hospital as well, very close to the site where this incident had taken place, and then the resultant rescue after 17 days. We're joined again by Professor B.W. Pandey of the Department of Geology of the Delhi University. Glad you could join us again, Professor Pandey. First up, your first impressions on not just how this rescue was conducted and its result, but the manner in which it has ensured that all these 41 workers were brought out almost hale and hearty. One could see it in the pictures. They were felicitated by ministers, and nothing really seems to have happened to them.
It is not an effort of a one day, single day. Rather, it was a well-planned effort which took place with the coordination of the multiple agencies working within the country as well as abroad. First of all, it was very necessary to know the level of risk involved in this rescue operation. The nature of vulnerability of the fragile mountain ecosystem like Himalaya, where any kind of construction itself is a challenging task. And it was perceived, it was experienced that while the drilling, there's a collapse of the materials, there's a collapse of the rocks, a structural collapse. So because of the unconsolidated rocks, which is a very, very difficult challenge in the rescue operation. This is the reason that it became a unique operation, a better setting example operation across the globe, how in such a critical condition operation was done. Secondly, the coordination right from top to the bottom and bottom to the top. the way the united efforts by the community, by the engineers, by the scientists, by the government level, also the bringing the best technician, best scientists across the world. And they see the objective, the most important that shows the good governance in the country. The objective was to save the life of these 41 workers, laborers. Anyhow, it became the top priority for the nation. Unlike the earlier, the priority to save the life, the citizen of the country, that become a kind of hope, a light, a pathway, a roadmap, and that's given hope. The kind of topmost level, Honorable Prime Minister involved, watching, monitoring the situation and the condition. All these continuous effort and well integrated and well connected efforts which had worked out and resulted ultimately our victory. So challenging the nature, challenging the technology, and challenging the life, it was very important because not 1 or 2 or 3 days, it has passed several weeks where the kind of rescue operation keep on going, the kind of obstacles, kind of problems which emerged in between. First solving those problems, then go for the next step. So the kind of, it was also a examination for the entire country, for the government, for the people, and definitely the prayers around the globe, around the country, all through all the states, the millions and millions of the prayers which had worked. And finally, from prayer to practice.
Yes.
From hope to action. That is the very unique, that's I'm telling you again and again, it became a well-established example even for the rest part of the world, how India succeeded in such a vulnerable condition, in such challenging task, and finally, we saved the life of our people.
Definitely. I mean, it will be, like the PM said, a misal. It will be an example for the world to, follow and study and perhaps learn lessons from as well. Dibyendu Mondal, my colleague, is joining us from Uttarakhand. He is where the workers have been taken to a makeshift hospital. Dibyendu, first up, just tell us, have you heard about what the doctors are saying about the condition of these workers, although they seemed fine when they came out, but has there been any change in that situation? Hopefully not.
Well, Gautam, we haven't been able to hear any adverse report about any of the workers who have been brought at this primary healthcare center in Chinalisor, which is about 30 kilometers from the Silkyara tunnel where they were trapped for the last 17 days. The doctors are currently monitoring the health parameters of all the 41 workers who have already arrived here in 3 batches of ambulances that queued up to come down here to Chinalisor, which is also in the Uttarakhand district of Uttarakhand. We have also just seen several senior officials, including the district magistrate, the superintendent of police, as well as senior officials from the government of Uttarakhand have made their way inside this particular makeshift hospital here and are currently talking to the doctors. We have also seen a batch of doctors from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences of Rishikesh, that is located in Rishikesh, have also entered into this particular makeshift hospital that you can see behind me. They are currently checking the health of all the workers and monitoring the health of the workers constantly. They will be checked thoroughly by the doctors, and a team of doctors have been constituted here. In fact, a medical board of doctors have been constituted here that will be monitoring the health of these of all these 41 workers for the next few hours to see that if there is any adverse report that comes out from here. But as of now, the doctors are pretty confident that all the 41 workers are doing completely fine, and they have been able to deal themselves very well inside the tunnel for the last 17 days.
Right. Now, Dibyendu, you've been there at that site keeping track of the rescue operation for the last several days. Now, I believe till yesterday it was being said that it might take much longer for these workers to come out. I believe someone even said till Christmas. But just tell us how it changed so quickly that we're all celebrating their coming out now in such a manner.
Well, of course, this was not expected that it would be completed by today, but thankfully, the rat hole miners that did this job perfectly fine, and in no time, in about less than 24 hours, these 41 men were rescued after about 7 to 8 meters had to be dug by the rat hole miners that went inside the 1.2 meter diameter pipe that was laid down as the rescue pipe. They went into, they dredged, they removed all the muck by using traditional tools. So, the commitment, the heroic and the bravery of these rat hole miners that have worked round the clock for the last 24 hours is something that has to be commended, and they have done what many modern machines could not do.
And even today, there was the impression that the workers have been reached and they'll be out anytime soon in the afternoon itself. And then there was some change, and ultimately the actual reaching them happened a little later towards the evening.
Well, in the morning, in fact, late in the afternoon.
Oh, we seem to be having a bit of a problem with that link that Dibyendu is connected to us through. Let me once again bring you Professor B.W. Pandey, because again, the role of the rat mining workers, that's been critical to the day, and this was something that seemed to be a result of out-of-the-box thinking.
Yes, because it was very important, because the kind of drilling, the vibrations of the drilling and the heavy machines, all these impacted the cracks, development of the cracks and the rock falls. That it was really very challenging task. So the rat mining, which is the kind of technique which had the least shocks and least vibrations, so that the collapse of the roof and the falling of the stones and the rocks in the cave, within the cave, can be avoided. So that technique finally worked, and definitely apart from the technique, even the psychological strength of the people who were trapped is really it's appreciable. And you see, when they came out, the kind of smile on their faces.
Yes, I remember reading a story that the workers inside the tunnel might be suffering from PTSD when they come out. There didn't seem to be any sign of PTSD there.
So we think when for an hour, when we are living in a room where there is no electricity, or with the room we are locked, so kind of things come in our mind, in our body, so that it becomes abnormal. So these people who are stranded in the tunnel in such a long time, and gradually they remain their inner strength. And this is the psychological boost of the people, of the laborers who were strengthened themselves in such a critical condition. So all that, from techniques in the tunnel to the psychological strength, the willing of the government, the community operation, the district level to state level, central level, good governance and interconnections of the governance. This is very, very important point. Interconnections of the government, faith and belief of the government, all that had worked.
And all sorts of know-how. All sorts of know-how was also. All sorts of know-how was also brought in, because you were mentioning the scientists, even scientists from abroad, experts in drilling came in from abroad as well, places like Australia, and even the Thai cave rescuers were also talked about.
Yes, this is called effort, the integrated effort. Now, the techniques which NDRF, the NIDM, the National Disaster Management Authority, all had now equipped with to have better rescue operations. Beyond that, it is the willingness of the government, thanks to the central government, the state government, the integrated approach of the government, which had explored the best possible experts, best possible solution to save the life of these trapped laborers, trapped workers. And this is the high-level intention of the government to save the life of the people, save the life of the citizen of the country. It was earlier, was shown in the government like Israel, United States of America, or the Scandinavian countries, Australia, Japan. But now, it is now the spirit of the government of India, where the people will give example for the government of India, how had invested the techniques, the money to save the life of the people. The life will become priority. So this kind of effort is well appreciated across the globe, within the country as well as across the globe. And I hope this kind of effort, kind of things which are growing, and particularly this effort, this rescue operation will be a milestone. There will be so many research, PhD will be done, so that in the future, this can be furthermore, better operations can be operated, taking the example of the Silkyara incident.
And one must also mention how these people who were involved in the rescue just kept going on and on, because there was no question of giving up. As long as there were signs of life, and there were signs of life throughout, no one came to any harm among those who were trapped inside, or even among rescuers. Even the rescue work is highly risky in these situations. We had a platform for the auger machine which is cracked. That in itself could have posed quite a lot of risk, but everything went completely safely and smoothly. It took time. It took a lot of effort. Yes. There were challenges, but it all worked out towards the end. That's the most heartening, I guess, aspect of this entire rescue operation, isn't it?
Yes, that is the beginning. I told this is the patience and belief on the people, the techniques, the scientists, engineers, workers, government, community, and finally the efforts of the doctors. So all these patience and integrated operations that resulted in the success. And definitely it is really a kind of vulnerable mountain where there is more exposure, more risk, because Himalayas itself is the exposed environment, very high risk environment, where the kind of nature of hazard posing, which is really highest as compared to any mountain geosystem in the world. Because Himalayas are the youngest mountain, where the rocks are unconsolidated, where the kind of slumping, kind of landslide, kind of collapsion, kind of falling is very common. And this is really very, very notable challenge was done, that even the people who were engaged in the operations, right from engineers to the laborer, no harm to anyone. This is the beauty of this operation. This is the most important success of this rescue operation. That's why I told you, there will be research. There will be so many PhD theses will be submitted in the science stream, social sciences, ecology, environment, disaster management. So many faculty members, they will be involved in doing the research. This will be one of the best example of the successful story of the rescue operation.
Well, certainly it deserves to be documented in every manner possible, be it on film or in PhD thesis, wide range. I guess it will inspire and it will lead to that sort of deep, in-depth study as well. Let me now bring in my colleagues, that is Dibyendu Mondal's ground report from the site as well as to what happened over there. Take a look.
You can see the ambulances, the third set of ambulances is making their way to the Chinalisore Primary Healthcare Center here in Uttarkashi. These ambulances have the workers who have been recently rescued by the rescue workers here at Uttarkashi. These ambulances are carrying the workers who have been recently rescued just a while back. Their health will be monitored here at the Chinalisore Primary Healthcare Center, which has been converted into a makeshift camp. The ambulances, the health of each ambulance also has a doctor who is constantly monitoring the health parameters of all the workers that are coming in. The ambulances are now making their line, in fact, their way into the healthcare center. Earlier before this, we had seen 10 ambulances making their way, and now another set of ambulances have already have gone inside. They are being escorted by a police vehicle, and authorities are making constant effort to ensure the smooth passage of these workers. The workers will now be getting down from here, from the ambulance, and be taken into the makeshift hospital at the Chinalisore Primary Healthcare Center, which has been converted into a makeshift camp. The doctors will be constantly monitoring their health, their important health parameters, and they will be monitored for the next 48 hours. And if any healthcare, if any of the rescued workers' health is found to be in any kind of a complication, they will be taken to Rishikesh by the Indian Air Force helicopters put on standby. This is Dibyendu Mondal with camera person Jagmohan reporting from Uttarkashi for DD India.
India's Minister for Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs, Smriti Irani, has launched the Guide on Gender Inclusive Communication in the national capital on Tuesday. The government aims to make it an integral part of everyday administrative outreach to citizens and also focus on institutionalizing a gender-just administrative framework. DD India's Jessica Taneja caught up with the minister on the sidelines of the launch event. Here's what she said.
Firstly, congratulations on this wonderful initiative, a program being brought in for gender inclusive communication. What was the aim behind it? And as your colleagues, we heard this was a really comprehensive task involving a lot of stakeholders.
I think that when the Prime Minister speaks of women-led development, he's also insistent on ensuring that the language of power is embellished with empathy and words which pronounce gender justice, especially when administrators engage with citizens at large. We need to be mindful of how language impacts not only local communities but also administrative frameworks. So in collaboration with Labasna, which is a premium training institution for officers across the country, this becomes a guide for many of us to follow. I'm extremely even buoyant about the fact that there are many officers who will come through for mid-career training, and these are the officers who will need that kind of guidance in their everyday usage of language. So this is the first ever in our country, and UN Women makes me believe that this is the first ever initiative done anywhere in the world.
Right. And just one small example before we let you go, one small example where you think it could be more effective beyond, of course, the administrative services, as you say.
I think that when you have leadership which is administrative in nature, they also help percolate not only policies, not only budgets, but also how communities view women. So my belief is that if you look at the 15th Finance Commission and how gender-based tied funds were percolated across our systems, how does administrative response also reflect the same vision of the Prime Minister, I think has become the cornerstone for this particular guide.
Thank you for speaking to DD India. That was Union Minister for Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs, Smriti Irani, launching this guide on gender inclusive communications today here in New Delhi. This is Jessica Taneja with the journalist Ajit for DD India in New Delhi.
Now, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations is taking a unique initiative to host 85 foreign academicians under Knowledge India program. For the first time, 85 senior academicians from 39 countries, largely heads of department and teaching subjects of Indian knowledge system, will be visiting New Delhi early December. This unique initiative is named as Knowledge India Visitors Program. This event aims at discussing ways and means of promoting higher learning of Indian knowledge system and the issues faced in its teaching learning globally.
To organize this first of its kind Knowledge India Visitors Program. It's a conference and some 85 plus foreign academics, largely heads of departments from 39 countries are going to come to India. The Indic knowledge has reached to several countries, and today there are many universities that are hosting departments that are imparting Indic knowledge system related subjects. Now many of these departments are facing some challenges pertaining to adequate academic resources. Some kind of a solution is also kind of found out to these challenges.
And in an exclusive conversation with DD India's Monoon Bhattacharya, the Director General of Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, Amit Prothi, shared his expectations from COP28 in Dubai. You can watch the entire interview at 8:30 p.m. IST or 1500 GMT on the 29th of November.
COP28 is here.
Yeah.
What is your biggest expectation from it?
I think we've made, this adaptation finance space is growing. And my expectation is that even this year now, there'll be a lot more discussion on how do you direct more financing towards adaptation solutions. Now that requires a better understanding of adaptation solutions. So a lot of discussions are around that, what is an adaptation solution? It's, somehow on the mitigation side, it's easy is not the word, but it's easier to understand what you're doing because it's all related to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. On the adaptation side, it's a little bit more challenging. How do you define an adaptation project to still being, now there's evidence building. So I'm hoping a lot more solutions in the adaptation space, a lot of more financing, so moving that needle from 5% of climate finance to maybe much more.
The 54th edition of the International Film Festival of India concluded in the coastal state of Goa. At the closing ceremony, the best awards in several categories, including the prestigious Golden Peacock, was announced.
The 54th edition of International Film Festival of India concluded today. India's Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Anurag Singh Thakur, said that the 54th edition of International Film Festival of India was a celebration of unity in diversity, embodying the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, bringing together creative minds, filmmakers, cinema lovers and cultural enthusiasts from across the globe.
The diversity showcased at the festival is the living embodiment of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, that brought together creative thinkers, filmmakers, cinema lovers and cultural enthusiasts from all over the world under one roof.
The closing ceremony was held at Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium. It was also addressed by the Chief Minister of Goa.
This year's festival showcased the 270 films from 78 countries, and we saw some of the spectacular premieres. As we bid farewell to this vibrant festival, I am overwhelmed by this response it is received.
Hollywood actor and producer Michael Douglas was honored with the prestigious Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award for excellence in cinema. Douglas said that cinema has the power to unite and transform the people with cross-cultural artistic expressions.
This festival is a reminder of the magic of movie making. When you've worked in the movie business for as long as I have, it becomes clear that cinema is one of the few mediums that has the power to unite and transform us. Transcends divisions, whether that be geography, race, language, or even time.
इंडिया
मैं आपसे
बहुत प्यार करता हूँ. That's amazing.
The coveted Golden Peacock for Best Film was conferred upon the Persian masterpiece Endless Border, directed by Abbas Amini. Bulgarian director Stefan Komandarev received the Silver Peacock for Best Director for Bulgar's Lessons. Pouria Rahimi Sam is honoured with Silver Peacock for Best Actor in the male category for his nuanced and rich acting in the movie Endless Borders. Melanie Thierry has also been awarded Silver Peacock Award for Best Actor in the female category for her seamless expressions of a wide spectrum of emotions in Party of Fools. Indian filmmaker Rishabh Shetty also bagged the Special Jury Award for Kantara, the film which explores the ideological conflict between humans and nature. Raghid Azad Kaya also received an award for the Best Debut Feature Film, where the movie directed was When the Seedlings Grow.
So the 9 days of fiesta, the festivities and everything cinema, everything entertainment comes to an end. We are here at the coastal state of Goa, cherishing all that has happened during the last 9 days. We all look forward to the 55th edition of International Film Festival of India. Shama Mishra, DD India, Goa.
That's all we have for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news and updates as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.